Hello and welcome to Lady Applejack Speaks VA, a VA channel here on YouTube that focuses on the Netflix series Stranger Things. And I am back with a new episode. I finally feel a little bit better. Apparently me and my husband both had some sort of bout with food poisoning. It wasn't pleasant at all, to say the least, and I ended up sleeping most of today away. So I'm a little bit late posting this, so hopefully it's worth your guys' wait. So yeah, this is a new episode, episode 17 for series 2, Why Can't This Be Love, where we follow the storyline of Eddie Munson and Liz Hargrove, the younger biological sister of Billy Hargrove. A lot has happened with this series, so we've had a lot of cliffhangers, and we might have a cliffhanger here. I'm not sure. Actually, I am, but I'm not even going to tell you guys. But yeah, I think you guys are going to really enjoy this episode. Just a couple of disclaimers. So the episode is rated PG-13 for strong language. There is a trigger warning for mentions of physical abuse. So please keep that in mind. If you guys have any concerns about that and you just want an episode summary, you know the drill. Just go over to my Instagram, send me a DM, and yeah, I will send you an episode summary. All you have to do is say, I just need an episode summary for Series 2, Episode 17, and I will get that out to you. While we're on that topic, I just want to say to everyone, feel free to message me anytime you want on Instagram. I know that a lot of people are intimidated by that. They're worried that, if they make a suggestion on Instagram, that people, that creators will get annoyed with them or anything like that, or that you are wasting my time. You're not wasting my time, and you're not irritating me at all. That's how I get a lot of good ideas from you guys, and I want you guys to feel comfortable in talking to me. I had talked to somebody earlier today, and I'm not going to like put out names or anything like that. But one of the things they asked me is why I tend to be very nice to people that I haven't even met. And one of the things that I told them is that I just feel, how can I say this? I just feel like the world is full of ugly things already. And we all have our own insecurities and our own stress. And, the world can be a very rough place to live. If I could just take 15 minutes of my day to make somebody smile or feel better about their situation, or just to listen to whatever concerns they may have, then I don't find that a deed wasted. I want to see people happy. That's how I genuinely feel. So don't ever feel like you can't talk to me, or you're intimidated to talk to me, because I'm just like anyone else. And I understand sometimes we have hard times and we need to talk those things out, especially if you're creative. Sometimes it's very difficult to open up and be candid about your own personal feelings when you are creating. So, with that said, I hope you guys are taking good care of yourselves, and that you are remembering to just smile and try to relax. Just because you're going through a hard time now doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. Okay, that's my motivational poster for today. So we'll talk about the rest of the episode. Like I said, the episode is PG-13, and it's following on the story, the date of January 5th, 1986. So the previous episode was dated January 4th, 1986. That was on a Saturday. This is on a Sunday. The name of this episode is Season of the Witch. I feel like you guys are kind of getting the vibe here, and you're understanding a little bit of what is happening from the previous episode. And I'm so glad that you guys kind of understood that, because I'll be honest with you, I'm still learning Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm not used to all the character profiles. That took a research and a half to do. So I'm glad that you guys were catching on with it and you felt good about it. The storyline is going to be told in Liz's point of view, and it's also going to be told in Eddie's point of view. So they're going to shift back and forth. So Liz is going to be first, her narrative is going to be first, and you're going to kind of experience what she's experiencing. And then it's going to switch to Eddie, and then it's going to switch back to Liz. In between, we're going to have speaking parts for Dustin, and we're also going to have speaking parts for Max. There are other characters obviously going to be playing in the role, but I wanted to focus on just those 4 characters in particular. I felt like that they were the ones that are going to stand out. So there's that. And the song that I am referencing, you might know it as a Lana Del Rey song. It's actually a song from the 60s. And as much as I love Lana Del Rey, I'm going to tell you guys that you have to go back and listen to the original 60s track of Season of the Witch. I believe it was done by, I want to say Donovan, if I remember correct. And it is just one of those beautifully done 60s vibe songs. And it's like sweeping, and it's got that spooky vibe to it. It's chef's kiss. So you need to check that out. Now, there is another song that I'm going to be referencing in this particular script. If you guys remember, I told you that the previous 2 episodes was titled In the Airways, and it was by a song by Jack's Mannequin. And Jack's Mannequin is making it yet another appearance in this. And the song that that's going to be showcased is a song called The Mixtape. Again, it's from Everything in Transit. If you haven't listened to that album, you just have to go listen to it. This is going to be a song, even though this was not around in the 80s, I just felt like it was very fitting for this particular series, because Eddie, if you guys remember, he talks about making mixtapes all the time. He makes mixtapes to give to Liz, and it just felt appropriate to use this song. And this is a song that is actually, I'm going to have to apologize in advance. I'm going to try to sing it as best as I can to my ability, and I hope I don't screw it up. I'm not good at doing the acapella for this song. I've tried thousands of times, and it's just not good. So I am going to probably play a little bit of the chorus in the background, or a little bit of just the cadence. That way I could keep on record with the song itself. Bear with me. There's a reason why I'm not a professional singer. I stick to the bass and I stick to the guitar, and that's it. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. Liz's point of view. The gateway of the upside down. Time unknown. Time seems to creep along when you're down here. When you're dead, well, you don't sleep. You don't ever rest peacefully like the priest in my congregation used to promise. But then again, that was if I entered the pearly gates. I don't think I'm in hell. Hell was supposed to be something much worse, I would think. Fire and brimstone. The upside down? It was nothing. It was just a place. A cold, dark, lonely place where time simply didn't exist. In fact, now, He's been a constant visitor to the empty room. I never felt tired when he was here, just weary. Each visit consisted of him training me, as he would call it. My powers scare me. I went throughout my life thinking that I was just an oddball, that any time something would move in my presence on its own, that I was just imagining it, that it was all just a coincidence. The first time happened shortly after the communion dress incident. I was in my bedroom, laying flat on my stomach due to all the open wounds on my back from the whipping. I had been crying most of the night, pain and rage coursing through my body. I hated Neil Hargrove. I hated my mother for letting him wail on us whenever he pleased. I wanted nothing more than for him to get hurt. To hurt like Billy. To hurt like me. I had been staring at a framed picture of my family on my nightstand. It was taken on St. Monica Beach the year before. My mom had insisted that we take this stupid photo and pretend to be a happy all-American family. Neil really hammed it up for the camera, having me sit on his lap while he supplied a superficial toothy grin. I kept staring at that fucking fake grin of his, glaring at it in pure disgust. I hated him. Hated him. Hated him so much that my body began to quake. Monster. He was a monster. I jerked upward as I watched the glass splinter across the center of his forehead outward, taking Mom out with him. Billy and I were unscathed. That was the first time. The first time I knew that something was wrong with me. Something was dangerous about me. The second time was 2 months later. I had just turned 9, and I, again, did something wrong in Neil's eyes. I was caught talking to a boy in the congregation. It was an innocent crush. At least, it was innocent to everyone around us, except Neil. He whipped me right after church, down in that dark, dank basement. The lashings were so bad that I bled. Those were the scars that Eddie had asked me about the last night we were together. I didn't tell him. I didn't want to tell him. I was so afraid that he would just judge me for what I would tell him. Not only about the beating, but about what followed after. What I did to Neil without his knowledge. Neil had headed off to the bar that night. This was nothing new. By this point, our mom was gone, and Billy had tended to my cuts, and then he went to bed. I, in too much pain and angry, stayed awake. I sat up in my bed and thought about how badly I wanted Neil to hurt. To hurt like me. To bleed like me. I visualized it. I closed my eyes tight and visualized him at the bar, leaving it and stumbling off towards his car. I visualized the two men that tackled him to the ground, beating him with iron knuckles, kicking him in the ribs until they broke, putting him in a chokehold and leaving him bloody and raw, leaving him to die. He didn't come home that night. Instead, a member of the congregation came to our house and said that we'd be staying with them for a couple weeks. That Neil had been jumped for some off-color remark he had made to one of the barmaids that night. He was beaten so badly that his brain had swelled. The first 48 hours were critical, and they weren't sure he would survive. I felt so guilty that day when we were notified, because I knew it wasn't just a coincidence. I was something bad, something wicked. The dangerous monster that they all talk about on Sundays. A witch, a devil, a creature of sin. That day, I vowed never, ever let myself think like that again, no matter how bad things got. I vowed not to manifest any sort of ill intent toward anyone ever again. It wasn't right. It wasn't good to wish any sort of pain upon anyone, even those who wronged me. I remember the night that I lost my virginity to Eddie. We had gone to the video store right after school to get overpriced Jiffy popcorn, Good and Plenty's, and a couple of tapes. Eddie, being the kind of person he is, insisted that I pick the movies. We settled on Breakfast at Tiffany's and a wild card, Carrie. I told Eddie it was because we weren't allowed to watch horror movies underneath Neil's roof. Part of that was true. But I could have easily watched that movie anywhere else. His trailer, the Wheeler residence, or even Robin's. I didn't, though, because I was scared of facing the truth. That I was nothing more than another Carrie White. I was afraid that I would awaken a sleeping dragon if I even indulged in the book, much less the movie. I remember watching the movie with intrigue on the couch next to Eddie. This girl, wronged by so many people that were supposed to love and protect her, had to take matters into her own hands. She had to protect her own. I was scared of the rage inside me, of setting the world on fire. That fear is the one reason why I didn't go with Eddie. I'm too bad to be with someone as good as him. He might think he is one of the damned, but he isn't. He is pure and so good. He is the hero at the end of the storybook. Me? I'm I'm nothing more than the untamed dragon, dangerous and incapable of rehabilitation. Even Vecna admitted that. My memories evaporate with the sound of Vecna entering the empty room. He walks towards my bed, motioning for me to stand at attention. Slowly I do so. Lucetta, your powers are at their optimal. You know what that means, right? I, I really don't think this is a good idea. What are you talking about, Lucetta? It's time. It's time that you light the match and let Hawkins burn. To split apart. No, it's wrong. All those people. All those poor people. Poor people? Those poor people that contributed to your suffering? None of them cared about you when you were alive. None of them came to your rescue, correct? Your stepmother? Your stepsister and your brother? All watched as your father tormented you. Your friends stepped away and left you alone as you struggled to survive each day. And that boy that you claimed to love so much, he abandoned you. To protect me. To protect himself, Lucetta. He moved on without you. Am I right? He went on each day with a smile on his face, going to his trivial campaigns and falling for the cheerleader, the true queen of Hawkins. See? You can't justify any of his actions now, can you? As I said, Lucetta, it's time. It's time to unleash your gifts upon the world. It's time you take that crown back and be the true queen you were always meant to be. I suppose. Tonight, all your hard work will pay the debts of those that wronged you. Be ready. Eddie's point of view, the Hargrove residence, 3 a.m. We sneak back into the Hargrove house, greeted by the January chill and darkness. I think to myself all the times I entered this house, sneaking through it to be with my Liz, my girl. All the times I felt that I could keep her safe. I failed her once, and I refuse to fail her again. I was going to get her back. I was going to bring her home, and as soon as I did so, we were going to run. Far, far away from Hawkins and everyone that had let us down. I didn't care what I had to face to make this work tonight. I was sick and tired of running from Vecna and from Neil. Max, Steve, Nancy, Robin, and Dustin sit down next to me on Liz's bedroom floor. I smile sadly as I see her around the room. A half-empty bottle of nail polish remover and purple nail polish on her nightstand, her well-loved chemistry book, and a back copy of 17 magazine on the floor next to her bed. A photo strip of us taped to her vanity mirror. Laughing, making silly faces. And the last one, me kissing her. I remember that day at Woolworth's and how happy we both were. She had finally agreed to be my girlfriend. It was a few weeks after our weekend at the cabin. I was on cloud 9. I didn't realize how soon I would end up losing her. Did you remember the sleeping pills, Eddie? Yeah, I think 2 is enough for each of us. It won't put us under too much. Steve, Nancy, and Dustin. You and Robin will stay here and sit guard, right? Yeah, of course. Everyone remembers the plan. Yeah, Eddie. Steve and Nancy will meet at the old Creole place and try to lure Vecna out. I'll back you up. I'll stand guard until we can get Liz. We'll get her to the gate. I'll escort her up with you to follow. Right. That's right, Dustin. It's gonna be tight, I know. I tried getting Billy, tried getting in touch with him, but he's been pretty hard to get a hold of since the funeral. He hasn't left his room since since they buried her. Decoy. Okay, everyone, come on. Everyone take 2 of these pills. You're going to want to crush them and then snort them. They'll react quicker. Does everyone have their shields and their spears? Yeah, we do, Eds. Do you? Yeah, I got everything. Ready? 3, 2. Eddie's point of view. The upside down. Time unknown. Liz? I'm back in the upside down. Except instead of Liz's empty room, I'm standing outside the Hargrove house. It's eerily quiet again, with the exception of the rustling of sleeping bats' wings. They're everywhere as usual. I'm on high alert as I look around the vast wasteland of tentacles and vines, a menacing blue sky. I frown as I don't see Liz. Baby. Come on, where are you? I think back to the plan. Max said that if I didn't see her right away, that I should sing to her. Sing to her once more. Liz, this is for you, baby. This is morning. That's when I spend the most time thinking about what I've given up. This is a warning. When you start the day, just close the curtains. You're thinking about what I've given up. Oh. Where are you now? As I'm swimming through the stereo, I'm writing you a symphony of sound. Where are you now? As I rearrange the songs again, this mix could burn a hole in anyone. Was you I was thinking of? It's you I was thinking of. I read your letter, the one you left when you broke into my house, retracing every step you made. And you said you meant it. And there's a piece of me in every single second of every single day. But if it's true, then tell me how it got this way. Where are you now? As I'm swimming through the stereo, I'm writing you a symphony of sound. Where are you now? As I rearrange the songs again, this meat could burn a hole in anyone. But it was you I was thinking of. I can't get to you. I can't get to you. I can't get to you. You. Where are you now? As I'm swimming through the stereo, I conduct a symphony of sound. Where are you now? As I'm cutting through you track by track, I swear to God this mix could sink the sun. It was you I was thinking of. It was you I was thinking of. Where are you now? Where are you now? This is my mixtape for her. It's like I wrote every note with my own fingers. Eddie? I hear her voice behind me and turn to its source. She's almost glowing in the darkness, and the ethereal white aura around her. She looked the most beautiful that I have ever seen her. Liz. Her eyes, clouded as if they were deep in thought, met mine and cleared. It's just like a cloudy day and the sun finally decided to peek out. She looks at me, surprised. You, Eddie, you shouldn't. I know. I shouldn't be here. Already established that, sweetheart. Liz Hargrove, you know by now that your Eds doesn't follow in directions very well. You aren't my Eds anymore. That's far from the truth. Liz, look, I know what you are. Then you know that I'm a monster. You are far from a monster, baby. Listen, I figured it out. You're manifesting Alina the Fair. You're protecting others from being trapped down here. You're just a gatekeeper. I'm a monster, Eddie. I'm only good. I'm only good with you, Liz. You need to come back. And I'm only good for one thing: destruction and carnage. That's not true, Liz Hargrove. Liz, please. Can you come closer to me? I promise you, it's okay. You're not going to do anything wrong. Hesitantly, she steps closer to me, like a timid fawn. I don't make any sudden movements, and even when we're toe to toe, I cautiously take her face in my hands, tracing her plush lips with the pads of my calloused thumbs. You're so soft. Just like I remember you. You have to go back. You and the others. Eddie, you have to get everyone out of here and away from Hawkins. Vecna, we're going to destroy Hawkins tonight. I'm being used to orchestrate its demise. Eddie, I have no choice. I spent my entire life being a freak, a monster. This is my endgame. This is where I belong. You can't believe that. Liz, you are not a freak. You're not a monster. You were repeatedly hurt and let down. You have to go. It's too late for my happy ever after. But you have time. You and Chrissy have time. I don't want Chrissy. I want Lucetta Hargrove. I've always wanted her. She's my happy ever after. Liz, you remember when I told you about Alina the Fair, right? She was just. She was good. Yes. And she had so many powers, remember? Remember all the spells she had and how she protected the witches and the wizards? She was able to help them safely be reincarnated. Baby, you can be that. You can keep all of us safe. You could keep Hawkins safe. And you can come back. Eddie! Eddie! Nancy and Steve are coming and... Oh, fuck, they have company. I look towards the old Creel house and I see exactly what Dustin is talking about. Nancy and Steve are running towards us, Vecna right on their heels. I whistle for Dustin and he comes rushing to my side. Dustin, get her out of here. Retreat. you, Lisetta Hargrove. Go with Dustin. I'll be right behind you. I watch as Dustin rushes towards the bedsheet rope, with Liz fighting against his grip. Nancy and Steve pause at my side, ready to put up a fight. I shake my head. Go. Get her out of here. I got this. Eddie, are you fucking crazy? You can't stay behind. You have to go with Nancy and I. I'm not running anymore, Harrington. God damn it, go. Get Liz to safety. I raise my shield, preparing myself for battle. Vecna has awakened the sleeping bats, and they are following his lead. Defeated, Steve and Nancy run toward the gateway. There's no shame in being a hero. I think back on all my what-ifs. Liz and I surviving tonight. Liz and I running away to the city. Me becoming a big rock star, and Liz forever being a line in my album dedications. Liz in a wedding dress, smiling. Liz, the mother of my children. Liz, the constant. Liz, the fair. Goodbye, sweetheart.
This is morning. That's when I spend the most time thinking about what I've given up. This is morning. When you start the day, just close curtains. You're thinking about what I've given up. Where are you now? As I'm slipping through the stereo, I'm writing you a symphony of sound. Where are you now? As we rearrange the songs again, this makes me what I've already won. It was you I was thinking of. It was you I was thinking of. I read your letter, the one you left when you broke into my house. The mistakes in every step you made. You said you're ready, and there's a piece of me in every single second of every single day. But if it's true, then tell me how we got this way. Where are you now? As we're slipping through the stereo, I'm writing you a symphony of sound. Where are you now? As we're can run.